Thank you, Christy. And tonight we have a special guest joining us in the studio, Magic Millions director and owner, Katie Page-Harvey. Welcome to GG Girls, Katie.
Thanks, Gareth. I'm pretty excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's great to have you aboard, and tell us about the passion you have for the racing game.
You know, people say, how long have you been involved with racing, Kate? I've actually been involved since '83. I started my horse racing career with Singo and Jerry in a car park at our first Harvey Norman store. The guys were sitting in the recliner chairs, I was selling shares in horses, so it was very grassroots. I think I've had a very good background. So from there, I just expanded my knowledge of horse racing.
And the Magic Millions, you play a major part, of course, directing and owning it. But you had a really good initiative during last year with the Racing and Women initiative. Tell us about that.
You know, I was looking at the racing industry, and you know, one of the things that was really noticeable was the ownership of women of racing, of horse racing, in horse racing. And it was something like 23% only of horses are owned by women. Women love going to the races, and it's just like any other sport. Why would you not have a 50% ownership of women, 50% ownership of men in these horses, when it's really a great sport for both male and female? So of course my mind started to race. I've got a very active mind, as people will tell you, and I thought, why can't we do something? It hasn't been done in the world. How do we get that ownership up really quickly and bring more people into the business side of racing? So when you look at racing, they often have women photographed in their hats, drinking champagne, having a great time, which is a really important part of the whole social part. But when you look at the business of racing, and that's breeding, or buying a horse, taking it to the races, working with the trainer, going through the whole gamut of the industry, it was lacking. So I said, great, and I threw in some money. And I remember the day when I said to Jerry, this is what I want to do. He said, oh, okay, we'll put in a little bit. I said, no, it's got to be, a big amount of money. I said, it's got to be something like $500,000. And he went, oh my goodness, Kate. Not quite, but it was a bit more expensive than that. So that's how it started. And I've got to tell you that the response to this initiative has been amazing, where I think we had some people thinking, this is a gimmick. It was never a gimmick. This is to bring more people into racing. It just makes sense that there are as many women in racing as men, with ownership, breeding, etc. And we're on our way. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Now, Kate, what has the response been like from the industry itself, trainers and people that have been involved in the industry for a long time?
So as I said, initially there was some scepticism, and I have to say it was only for about 2 days. They very quickly got onto this. The trainers were coming up and saying, Kate, I'm very good with women, and they started to do blogs, and it got out there, and they realised that there were a lot of women out there that weren't too sure how to get into racing this way. And so what we offer is like a safe haven where people can come, women can come, talk to us about what they don't know about racing, and we're a facilitator. And then at the end of it is this great incentive. But really, only for a couple of days were people a bit funny about it, because it was an unusual bonus, I think.
Yeah.
Katie, it's been an interesting initiative, and it's certainly spurred many women into owning racehorses, myself included. I'm now a part owner with a horse with Barry Baldwin, along with 9 other ladies. Do we have any stats on how many women this has encouraged into the industry?
We'll probably have our first figures in about 2 weeks' time, and as you know, the nominations have to be in by now, and we're just compiling all of that information. So I'm going to be as interested as everybody else on just how many women there are out there that have formed syndicates, doing it on their own, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty big.
And Katie, it's a terrific idea. Have you had any messages from around the world from other racing bodies that want to follow suit under a similar initiative?
There was something I saw from America, actually, where a woman over there has started something similar. And I'm seeing more and more through social media, on the net, just in traditional media talking about women's incentives. So we were talking before about Gosford on Saturday, putting the special incentive in for female jockeys. So I think it's going to grow. And the more, I think, after that first race, when we get to January, and, you know, I hope we've got a lot of women in the race. I cannot guarantee that that's going to happen. That'll be plan B after that. But once you have that first year, it's just going to grow and grow.
Okay. Katie, many a wealthy man has supported the thoroughbred industry in the past. How important is it that women have a share of that? I mean, you mentioned that $500,000 is up for grabs here.
There's lots of wealthy women as well, you know, Bernadette, not just the men. So I'm trying to bring women, sort of all types of women. So first of all, you've got the girls that have friends and want to do it, and they haven't got a huge amount of money, but they want to get a group of friends together, maybe 9 or 10 friends. You've then got women like me that have the resources to go and buy the horses themselves. You've then got husbands and wives that are buying horses together. So I think because the industry has been so focused on that this is a male industry and the men have got the money, in fact the world did change some time ago, and there are as many women with money as there are men.
And Katie, you've got the Zara Phillips attending the carnival this year. How did you get her involved, and what will she be doing at the carnival?
I wanted a very particular sort of woman to represent racing women, and you know, Zara for me as a choice, her parents are into horses, in eventing. They're Olympians, ex-Olympians. Her grandmother is probably the most famous female owner of racehorses. And watching Zara's career, we actually did this before she won her silver medal. And to do eventing, I don't know if you know much about eventing. Our daughter's a show jumper. And it is it's so scary to watch your daughter doing that. But I always said, thank God she's not an eventer, that's even worse. So this woman is a very brave, strong, has amazing focus on what she does, and I wanted that sort of woman to represent racing women. And because she's 3 generations in her family are into horses, so it was a perfect fit, and I wanted a face that was international, because I want people from around the world to know what we're doing here. And that's the fastest way to do it. But she's a fantastic girl. She's a great girl.
And Katie, Magic Millions, the Magic Millions Carnival in January is just getting bigger and better each year. What is your favourite part of that week?
My favourite part, so I've got a number of favourite parts. I really love the race day because it's on the Gold Coast and everyone's really relaxed. So even though everyone really gets dressed up and it's fantastic, they're in this relaxed mood. It's January, the families are there. They know they're going to go for a surf that morning before they come to the races. And it's just a different feel. All the other races, the really great races, are a particular sort of genre. We stand alone in this sort of feel. So everyone's happy, they're on holidays. The next part is the first night of the sales. You know, we've got a really nice sales ring. Again, it's got that country feel and everyone's relaxed. And those first horses going through the ring, that's really exciting. You know, you then know what the sale's going to be like and everyone's all excited. So I've got to say both those things.
And Katie, I'm looking forward over the next couple of years, Women's Syndicate winning the Magic Millions. Won't that be a day and a half? The celebrations at the Gold Coast.
It might be January, Garth. I mean, Gareth.
Yeah.
Garth, sorry.
I get Garth all the time.
You look like
Katie.
a Garth.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
What's a Garth look like?
Country and Western.
Oh, okay.
I think
I'm
he's
a country boy. I'm a
singer.
country boy, Katie. Garth Brooks.
To our right.
Yeah.
That's him.
My middle name's Brooke, by the way, too.
You're much younger, of course.
And where do you see Magic Millions going in the future, Katie?
We've owned this business for a long time now, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And it's an absolute passion. So you know that my husband is probably one of the biggest owners of racehorses. They just keep breeding these horses. Last count, I think he had about 1,200 horses. So he's got a huge investment. It's always been so important to him, that passion of horses. And so I've got that passion as well. Our whole life revolves around fridges and televisions through the day, barrier trials at night, and on the weekend the races. So it's a pretty good mix.
And if there's one message for women in racing, what would it be?
Come to the Magic Millions
Yes.
sales in January. Let us help you meet the trainers, see what the race industry's about. You know, just get involved. This is fantastic. It is not just the social side, it is getting involved in the business side, getting involved with the breeding, the buying, the training. There's nothing like it. And that adrenaline rush, if everyone once in their life can go through the adrenaline rush of having a horse win, my God. You know, so I want them to have that. We all have had that. You know, we've had that over time, so I know what it feels like. So if we can do that for women, give them extra money as well, and grow the racing industry, it's terrific.
Katie, thanks very much for your time, and of course we'll be seeing all the Magic Millions on Sky Racing World next January. Can't wait.
Thanks, Gareth.